Hi guys, it's me again. I obviously have company again today. A great friend is coming over, and I'm making what's called a freeform blueberry pie for dummies. Actually, it should be called, you invited them for dinner tonight? Oh, I totally forgot. So what I'm going to do is I've got right here these beautiful, fresh and seasoned, a little bit over a pint of blueberries. They've been washed and picked through to make sure that there were none in there that were kind of going to turn. So we're going to start with these blueberries. I already have my crust pre-made. Ladies, if you don't make pie crusts, there are some great store-bought pie crusts out there on the market. So just purchase one. Find the one you're comfortable with and go with it. My mother could never make pie crusts, so she always bought them. I have a half a lemon. It's a Meyer lemon, my favorite. Plus, they grow right on the tree next door. I can just run over and grab one. And you can use frozen fruit here. It's fine. Just don't, how would I say this to you? I prefer you not thaw them out, and you need to use a little bit more binder or cornstarch to kind of soak up those juices because they're going to release a little bit more as they bake. Okay, so I've got here half a lemon, and this is kind of feel it yourself. These are fresh berries, and they're sweet. So I'm just going to squeeze that, and as a little tip for you, I'm squeezing it face up, so all the juice comes out and none of the seeds. And I'm going to use all of it because I like a little bite in the back here as I eat my blueberry pie. Then I'm going to take some sugar, and you can use as much or as little as you like. I'm going to use about 2/3 of a cup. I am kind of that cook that just cooks for feel, and I know with these berries how sweet they are, or are not in this case, and so I'm just going to add a little bit more. You can add extracts here. An almond extract would be really nice. I'm just going to go with what I know right here today, and I'm just going to keep it clean, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and add about 2/3. This was a little shy of 1/3 of a cup, so I'm going to add a little bit more. I always say I'm going to add one and then I go a little bit less because it's easier to add something sweet to this once it's done, like some ice cream or some fresh whipping cream, than it is to take it away. We don't want it to be cloying. We do want this to be a little more sophisticated because it's, you want to look like you slaved all day, even if you didn't. So I'm going to add a little bit more here, okay? And that's it. And I'm going to take some cornstarch. That's my binder, my thickener in this case, as those juices kind of ooze out of your pie. They want to thicken them up. I'm not going to use flour because if my crust cooks fast, I don't want to be able to taste any raw flour. So I'm going to use about, looks like about 1/6 of a cup of cornstarch. Okay, and that's that. Go ahead and put that in my sink. Hot soapy water, and get my trusty spoon and give them a mix. Don't want to break up the berries here, people. Just want to mix them up. Okay, so that is that. She's all done. Now I'm going to add her to my pie crust. I'm going to add a little bit more cornstarch here because these weren't rinsed the way I like them to be as well as they should be. I'm going to add a little bit more sugar and cornstarch because I dumped half of it out here. Just a spoon, just a spoon. Oh, sorry, that's probably going to bother you. And a little bit more cornstarch here. Just a tiny bit. Give her a mix. And some more of that good old lemon juice, which may have been what was at the bottom of my bowl, huh? But I don't think so. There's a lot of lemon juice. Okay. And that's done. Okay, so that's all mixed, and it doesn't look like anything much, just that. Okay, rinse my hands off here, and get these into the pie crust. Okay, so let's prep that pie crust. Clean off my countertop here. Grab my pan that I'm going to put this on, and I'm going to go ahead and build this pie right on the pan because it's a free form, you're not going to be picking it up from the counter and moving it to a platter unless you have one of those pie peels, which I don't. So I'm going to take my pie crust, which I made earlier. This is an oil-free, this is a shortening-free pie crust. You could make a pâte brûlée, make a little sweeter crust. But I am not, because remember, we're working on what's in season, and we're working with what's in season. So I'm going to go ahead and roll that out. And this is like, if you're using the box stuff, this is about, I don't know, if you're making it out of a package, it's a half a package, because you're making a 1-crust pie here. This is not a double crust pie. Okay? So it's one of those little plastic ones that come rolled in the plastic. Don't think I don't know, because I've used them myself, and I ain't ashamed. So I'm going to roll these out on the rolling pin here. My rolling pin does not quite fit my pan, which is kind of a bummer for me. But Your girl's an innovator, so look what I got. I always do, right? The canning girl would have a canning jar laying on the countertop, empty and ready to go. So I'm going to go ahead and roll it out. My pie crust is not sticking, which tells me I did a darn good job of making it. I'm just going to put a little bit, though, so that it doesn't give me any problems, because I don't have time. I got to get this in the oven. I got to get on dinner. All right, so we're going to roll that out as thinly as possible, because it's an oil crust. They taste better when they're more thinly rolled. They get a little bit more crunchy, a little more tender. You know, you have a trade-off making it oil-free, making it shortening-free, I should say, in other words. You could also use butter. I didn't want to. I didn't feel like taking that step today. This oil crust goes together so well. It's just oil, half a cup of oil, half a cup of milk. You pour them in together in the same container. Don't mix them. Add 2 cups of flour, half a teaspoon of salt, to a quarter to a half a teaspoon, and dump the liquid right on top of the dry ingredients. Mix it together, and it comes together so fast. Faster than a shortening crust, which is also easy to make. Maybe one day I'll show you how I did that. But today, we got to get on this pie. All right? Some days, man, I love my husband for being so, you know, kind of out there. He used to be a really shy guy, but he's really grown a lot. And in his growing, he is more willing to kind of talk to people and engage them. It just means that I have to work a little bit harder sometimes when he's invited them to dinner. So, you know, it's a trade-off, but we'll take it. I need a little bit better jar here. Isn't that terrible? I do have them everywhere. There goes my dog. My neighbor must be here to take my son to the beach. Gets him out of my hair for a little bit. Let me just show you how this goes together. She hasn't rung the bell yet, so I got time. I'm going to just dump these right in the center of this pie crust. All of them. Because you want it to be full and bountiful and pretty and all those things. I'll peek at you from behind this bowl here. Over the top. Scrape it all in there. And there we go. You hear the little voices, all the little boys coming to go to the beach with my son. All right, and you're going to fold these edges up over the top of those berries. And it's very simple. Look at that. Okay, and another one. And another one. And it just kind of goes around like a pinwheel. Right? And up you go. We're such good friends, she just took him without even saying anything to me. I know where he is. All right, I'm going to sprinkle a little sugar. I don't have any sanding sugar. It would be beautiful here, but I don't have any today. And I'm not even going to take the time to put milk on it. And I'll just do that. And it's ready to go in the oven. Pretty. 350, 20 minutes.